for us.
Drives
Drivers, yes, brings life, brings health, brings vitality, brings hope. When you're at the worst state, at the bottom of a hole, and you knock on my door, and you're just about to cry, I go, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. What? I've been told for the last couple of years, if not last month, last week, that there's nothing that can be done. Well, you haven't met me yet, have you? No, I don't know. And I go, yes, it's education. Hi, I'm Michelle Richardson, lymphologist. There's not many of us here in Australia. Trained in the US, it's all online now because of the COVID situation. Everyone wants to do things online. And there is a missing key to health and cellular regeneration. We want to stay young forever. We don't want to suffer in pain. And when people come to me and say, hey, well, what do I do now? To just trust yourself, trust in the education. In 1 hour, less than 1 hour, I can turn their belief system around. Enough to go home and research. My gift to people is my education. That's it. Communication. Actually being real. And I have 100 stories of real people that turned their life around. Doesn't mean that the end is end. It's about the journey from where they started to where they are now today, present time. Yeah, present time. Being a lymphologist is the most powerful thing in the world. I'm not against doctors, I'm not against anyone. Actually, I love everyone unconditionally because everyone has a part on this beautiful world called Earth. And we need each other. Yeah? Beg your pardon?
Yes.
Yeah. We do. So true. And with all that, we draw on that energy, that vibration. Can you feel it now? Can you feel alive? Yes. I beg your pardon? Yes. So I'll get you up to do 20 push-ups. Against the wall. Okay, that's a good thing, yeah. Okay, so it's about understanding how the body works. So truly, honestly, besides my clients, who knows how the body works on the cellular level? Two of you, yeah? Yeah, two, Michelle, yeah? Yeah? Great. That's not very good, is it? I need to do some more work. That's so important because then when you go to specialists, then you can ask questions. I have just recently, a lady rang me on Thursday and she was in tears because she was diagnosed with stage 2 lymphedema, which is a fancy word that they've come up with in the last decade because we have become overweight. Not allowed to say fat anymore. And when I was growing up, there was only one fat kid in school. And guess who I sat next to? A fat kid. And boy, that's deep. Because of the toxins, toxins, right? So back to that. And this lady was actually Judy, this might be a wishy-washy, but she answered the phone and said, don't worry, Michelle will help you. She'll get you to understand what's going on with your body. She said that specialist didn't even say what was going on with the body. Excuse me? You pay top dollar to go see a specialist and they can't even tell you what's going on or why this is happening. They'll only do this, their products, which is okay, that's fine, I'm not against anything, but I don't want to be managed on products. I don't want to be managed on tools. I don't want to be dry brushing myself for the rest of my 50 years. 50 years on this planet, God. Or a bit longer. I don't want to be managed in buying pharmaceuticals or buying anything else, because that costs money. What if you're a retiree and you've got limited money? How are you going to afford all these products? They're good for a short term, just the same as pharmaceuticals, medication, because it blocks your pain so you don't think about the pain and you can go off. So who's had a headache? Right? Who's had a medication to suppress that headache? Yeah. No. And then after a while, what happens? You forget about it, the pain goes, and then you go about your business. Doesn't mean the symptoms still up there, they're just being suppressed. But because you don't think about it, then the symptoms start to subside. That's how medication works. It blocks everything. Right? But the medication gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and there's side effects. But we're not going to go there, right? Let's get off track. 100 cases of lymphology. Now, I've got some beautiful people here, including everyone else, who are going to share their stories. Right? Stories. And it's amazing. Right? Yeah? Okay? So, who would like to go first? What's the time for the moment sheet? Oh, would you like to share your story just quickly? Yeah? Yes? Not yet. Okay.
I'll just be kind of brief because thank you. My name's Mark, and I was another one that was in the hands of the medical system, in the hands of arthritis specialists. I was 100 kilos. Basically, I was fat, sick, and nearly dead. Here's some medication. I don't really want to take it, so I started to do my own research, and I don't take any medications. I'm 56 kilos, I'm 61, and I don't go to the doctors. I did make myself through another whole person, and took my life into my own hands and turned myself around. And I think if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't be here today. And I was a size 18. Today I'm 56 kilos. I took sugar out of my life, just like your mum. I haven't shown up with any cancers. I had arthritis and a distorted hip, scoliosis of the spine, plantar fasciitis in my feet. I didn't want to get out of bed. Oh, go do some exercise. Well, I can't. I didn't feel like exercising. I was depressed. It was costing me a fortune to go to the doctors. And I just took my life into my own hands. One thing I did remove, the main thing was fructose and fruit sugars. And I had a fatty liver, so I detoxed my liver, green tea, took out all sugars. I don't eat eggs, I don't demonise eggs, and red meat, clean out of my diet. I still eat fish and things like that, vegetables, and I don't go near sugar. Sugar clean out of my life, and have turned my life around. And I'm really proud of myself. I'm 61, and I'm going to live to 100. Easy. Yeah. I don't trust the medical system. Not one person that I went to actually told me what was wrong with my body, except you've got this, and this. And you're starting to get some varicose veins. I'll go to my mate, we share a room, he'll block those veins off, he'll put some spackfiller in there, no worries. I'm not going to do that to my body. The less things you do to your body, the better. And just stay out of the medical system, basically. I do believe in them for childbirth, broken bones, and stitches. I've had a few cuts and abrasions that I've had to get stitched up. I trust them for that, and that's as far as it goes. But your body is your temple, and I'm in charge of what goes in my temple. And as much as I hate to say it, through lockdowns, everything that was demonic to me was called Dan Andrews, and I just wasn't allowed in my temple. So there you go. And I started naming and shaming the food. I said, you're not allowed through the door, literally, and it worked. And today I've lost 44 kilos. Like 61 and no grey hair. So I'm actually living proof. And I would stand up on a building and talk about it all day, but I have to cut that short, give someone else a go. But I am walking proof that. And I haven't been to Michelle's clinic yet, but I did meet Michelle. That was through Daryl. And we reconnected a few weeks ago, and it was just perfect timing to come to the book launch today. If I hadn't met Michelle, I wouldn't have known about it. So there you go. So thank you, Michelle, for inviting me today.
Yeah.
That's really
Okay. Is that on? Yeah. About us. As Lymphology Australia, we believe cellular repair is not only possible, it's your birthright. Our education is up the creek with our paddle. We have not been told how to heal our body for over 100 plus years. And it's wrong. Our kids need to know that what they're eating is poison. And parents need to step up. But it's not the parents' fault. It's our leaders. We should be told how our body heals. Doctors don't heal, surgeons don't heal. I don't heal you. I show you the way. And then it's up to you to heal yourself. But getting out of fear. We are the new revolution in health of heart-led practitioners restoring health through the strong power of the lymphatic system. Using non-surgical, drug-free approach, we help the body do what it was designed to do, heal itself. If you cut your finger, do you stop and watch it heal? Someone say yes. Yes. No, you don't. You put a band-aid on it, and then you wait until it heals, and then it goes. What's the difference between the skin of the cell and your cells inside your body? No difference. No. Any difference, you cannot see it. So you don't believe that the body can repair. Every organ can regrow. Unless it's black and green and falling off, or yeah, it's really there. But if your organs are full of excess blood proteins, which is waste, it's clogged, like your vacuum cleaner. Who doesn't empty out their vacuum cleaner? Unlike her. No, I do it. So everyone empties out their vacuum cleaner, right? Because what's going to happen? It's clogged. It doesn't work. So if it clogs up with emotional stress, food, sugar, and I don't believe in mental health. Yes, we have feelings. feelings of not good enough, being afraid, all these feelings causes our brain to break down. But specialists and GPs have to have a word to give us to validate what we have. And it's become such a throwaway word in my point of view. Okay. Through education, compassion, and proven results. Who's got results in here from doing lymphatic work? And there's 100 here. Oh, yeah. Great. The future. And I'm going to, without a doubt, be the is that right? The forefront of this education in health centres. I'll be the authority of it. And I won't have a degree, but I will have passion and I will have the determination to help people who can't help themselves. And those are the people that haven't got any money because it's been paying too much tax. I won't go there either. Alright. Okay, how are we going for time? Peter? Do you want to do Andrew's testimony?
Okay.
We've got, now this is Andrea, and Vanessa's going to read Vanessa's testimony. She couldn't be here, and she was so annoyed, but she got family duties. But I'm going to get Vanessa to read out her testimony.
So, a little bit about who Andrea is. She's a colon hydrotherapist. Has anyone ever experienced that in the room through here? Yeah. Amazing. So I have two, and I can't say that it's the most pleasurable experience. I would say you feel some of the benefits that you get afterwards. Now, Andrea is quite special, and I will read out her too. This is her testimony word for word. So it's with the deepest love and gratitude that I write this testimonial for Michelle Richardson, an extraordinary lymphology therapist who not only transformed my practice, but also changed my life. She is also my friend and someone I look up to. The wealth of knowledge knows no bounds. She is always on hand to answer any questions I have with love and grace. Even though she's busy, obviously, she always goes out of her way to give me the time when needed on a professional and personal one. As a trained, highly skilled and dedicated colon hydrotherapist, I have always been passionate about helping others restore and maintain their nervous system. However, it wasn't until I attended Michelle's 3-day introduction to lymphatic drainage course that I truly understood the missing piece in the lymphatic system. What she shared over 3 magical days opened my eyes to the critical role of lymphatic health plays in helping the critical role lymphatic health plays in helping to clear the balance and supporting long-term healing. Both systems work in complete synergy to make the biggest elimination pathways to the body. Since integrating Michelle's approach to my clinic, the results I've seen in my clients have been nothing short of phenomenal. So I would actually love to go and see Andrea, because having had this before, knowing now that she's doing things at a whole other level, trained with Michelle, I would love to see the difference that makes. Yeah. So yeah, the results will be nothing short of phenomenal. So beyond the professional impact, Michelle's work has been deeply personal for me. I went to see her for non-surgical treatment on the scar tissue from the previous cesarean section, not fully realising the extent to which the scar was affecting my overall health. What Michelle did for me was nothing short of miraculous. Through her compassion, intuitive and expert care, she has completely transformed my health and given me back a vitality that I didn't realise I had lost. Michelle, thank you for your wisdom, your healing hands, and your heart. You are a gift to this world, and I am forever grateful to you, both as a therapist and as a human being. It is truly your time to shine and share all your knowledge with the world. Now, this is Andrea's recommendation. Everybody please read the book and start your interest introduction by doing Michelle's 3-day course. You will not regret it. It is the simplest way of elevating your health. You will walk away healthier and empowered to be able to elevate your health in the simplest way possible. So go get a Michelle. You are a blessing to all those who cross your path. And Andrea sends you lots of love to enjoy your special day today. So that is definitely something maybe down the track in the future that I'm actually personally looking at, because there's so many different ways of helping your health. But when you find something that just 10x's, this is my year of 10xing. I don't know about everyone else, but 10xing your health, doing things like this, is going to be next level. So
Great, thank you.
yeah, no problem. So I'll get it back to you, and then
Okay, this is fun. Okay, with Andrew's story, she's an amazing practitioner, but she was in her 50s and she thought she was going to have a mummy tummy for the rest of her life. She had exercise, diet, supplements, blah, 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 and well, this is it for me. And I said, no, I've learned walk non-surgical session, and I can get in there with my elbow and cause you pain. No, I don't cause pain. We have to break down. It's okay. Right? We have to break down the scar tissue. The scar tissue and excess blood protein clump together, causing concrete. Now the body's smart, whether you know it or not. If the lymphatic system goes, that's too hard to break down, I'm going to bypass it. So it doesn't even go near it. Because it can't even get in there. And to break it down, you have to create a vibration. Vibration means you've got to be happy. You have to want to be in life. Okay? And you have to love yourself. Love your mummy tummy. Right? So, okay. After that, we started to do my 3-day workshop, Introduction into Lymphology, where you can go on and actually do the course with Professor Colbert online, or you can go on and do Daryl Wall's non-surgical practitioner course, which Andrew's going to do later this year. And we got in there nice and deep. Yeah, there was bruising. I can't get the photos up. You saw the photos. In one session, we lifted up her belly. She actually lost some hair. Okay? I know it's so hard to believe that something so simple can actually work. So once you break down the scar tissue and the lump of junk in between the cells of the body, then the lymphatic system grows longer arms, like branches of a tree, and sucks it all in back into the lymph nodes. We process back into water around the body to the top of the neck in the conveying vein into the heart to make red water, which is blood, they call it blood, red water. Then it picks up the nutrition in plasma, they call, and then filters around the body. And happy days, but the blood and the oxygen can't get into blocked spaces. It's like you've been in the hallway and you want to go in every room, but half of them are locked. And you know the other rooms have got amazing things in them, but you just can't get in them. So you've got to get the key. Now what's the key to get into those rooms?
non-surgical.
Lymphology. Right? That's the key. Now the hardest thing for me is untrained to trained. Or getting people who are trained to do this education. because it's governed by society, association that doesn't believe in it. I'm not part of the government system. And you know what, even if I did it through for me, I don't think I want to be part of it anyway. Doesn't matter. Right? So back to Anka. She, in 6 sessions, she's running, she's lost waist off her breast. I said, just go run without a bra. She goes, what? She's got quite big breasts. She goes, oh, they hurt. I said, I know, because they're full of shit. Right? The body has to clear it, and she's actually dropped a few bra sizes, and she can't believe it because she was told she'd never lose her bust size. And it hurt. Have you ever heard of the saying, no pain, no gain? Yeah. I didn't want to believe that when I was doing PT. But when I had a personal trainer myself, to learn from other trainers, boy, did they hurt me. But after a day or two, after the lactic acid burn left, I felt good, I felt stronger, I felt my posture was more not uplifted, I felt great. But guess what? I went back to war. Yeah. Okay, so here's the next speaker. I've got Jerry there. Yep.
Okay, so Jerry, do you want to come up the front? So I'm just going to tell you a little bit. Jerry spent 9 years in the military. I have worked with clients that have been in the military before, and I can honestly say that they experience things that we can't begin to imagine. And so the effects that that can have on a physical level is something that again, we can't really imagine. I know 9 years is a very, very, very long time. Jerry's only 33, so...
I'm sorry if I get emotional about it.
Yeah. No, and you know what, that's good. But you know, 9 years out of 33 years of life, that's a very, 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 it's more than a quarter, isn't it, of your life. So Jerry, tell us a little bit about your story and why you're so passionate about sharing that today.
Yeah. Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you to Michelle for giving me this opportunity today to share my journey with you guys. Yes, so in my time, so since 2019, I was seeing a lot of psychiatrists and psychologists to help me overcome my mental health issues. I wasn't even sure today if I wanted to divulge too much, but to be honest, yeah, I was diagnosed with PTSD, secondary depression, generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and I spent a lot of time going through different medication like antidepressants, which I tried 3 or 4 different ones, and it wasn't good for me personally because it kind of numbed me and made me feel dead, which I don't know what's worse, being so sad or you can't feel happy or sad at all. And then I got, antipsychotics to help me sleep because I couldn't sleep at all, Valium to get my anxiety down. And nothing was really working for me properly. I was kind of just stuck in my head, not really wanting to be around really. Anyways, and then same year I was married. I was diagnosed with endometriosis and adenomyosis, which affected my fertility, and I couldn't get pregnant for 5 years. So that broke down my marriage. And then just since then, when I was 32, I did 6 cycles of IVF because I didn't have many eggs. That messed me up again because there was too much fluid retention and my hormone levels made my depression even worse. And it was just like a mess. I am very lucky though because I've always had a lot of support. My mum and dad are amazing. My brother, I have a lot of friends. Thank you. And yes, so I'm very, very blessed. And Apart from that, also, I've seen a lot of chiropractors and osteopaths to help me with chronic neck and back pain. Last year, I think it was like manifesting in my body, all my psychological issues, and I ended up like putting on weight. I was super bloated, like constipation, diarrhea, like it was just a lot, full on. And so I ended up getting a colonoscopy and endoscopy, and then what they found was I had SIBO, which is like bacteria in the small intestines. I had gastritis, which was pretty severe. So my inflammation markers were just so high which is why they rushed me to do my surgery. And what they found was they did find a hemorrhoid as well and a precancerous 6 millimeter polyp, which they removed, which is good. And that was pretty much the time when I found Michelle, thank God. And I just want to mention also that I did have a lot of dietitians, naturopaths, and kinesiologists for emotional and structural as well. And so I really have done it all, and I've been working so hard to just for my mental health and for my physical health as well, just to get through it. And sure, everything helped to an extent, but it wasn't until I found Michelle that I don't even know how to say this, but yeah, it was definitely divine diet. I had a drainage test in Mornington, but something was missing, and I googled and I came across Michelle, and I started doing the non-surgicals. I pretty much was doing 2 a week, because the results that I had were just so instant. And for example, my mental health improved dramatically, and I started sleeping without antipsychotics and Valium, which is wild because that's been 3 years, of doing that. And so that was very...
Did you show me that?
No. I wasn't even going to share that much today, to be honest, because I was everyone's going to not judge me, but it's very personal. But then you guys have made me feel super safe, and I feel really, it just good. It just feels complete.
That's the thing, right? When people come to me, they don't have to tell me their story. I don't need to know it.
Yeah, but it's just so easy to open Michelle. But I think there was just so many things I was telling you already that there's all these bits and pieces that I forget about because there's just so much. I hope I'm not talking too long.
No,
okay. And then, so I did lose a lot of weight also. I've never been very, very big, but I've lost weight and I do keep losing weight. And I just feel better. I have more energy. My clothes fit me. It's amazing. My fluid retention is gone. I had so much cellulite in the back of my legs, that's pretty much gone too. And another thing, I don't know if I was going to share this again, but I couldn't fall pregnant for 5 years, right, with a partner that had a very high sperm count. And then my partner now, he doesn't have a high sperm count, and basically we've been going through IVF and everything, and we've been together for over a year now, didn't fall pregnant once. And then in February, this isn't a sad story by the way, guys. February, I fell pregnant. That was a miracle. That was not meant to be because his sperm count was so low, and I'm couldn't get pregnant, right, for 5 years. And I was like, whoa. Unfortunately, we did miscarriage, which isn't a bad thing because the pregnancy itself was a miracle. And I think it was because my small and large intestines and my stomach dropped below my uterus, and then doing the abdominal lifts has just opened everything up and allowed, can I say, the sperm to stay in me and get me pregnant basically. And I was like, whoa. So there's hope there. We're very excited and we're happy. And then my neck and back pain is like alleviated it so much quicker compared to osteopaths and chiropractors, and they do a good job, but yes. I've got really bad bruxism. I've had to do a lot of Botox to try and calm it down because it's so sore and I'm chipping my teeth from grinding so hard when I'm sleeping. I ended up getting a mouth guard, and my partner was like, oh my god, like I'd wake up to his fingers like kind of inside my mouth, and I'm like, what is happening? And then he's like, stop grinding, because plastic on plastic sounds even more scary compared to your teeth on teeth, and he's like, it's creeping me out, and I'm just like, oh my god, let me sleep. And but yeah, the TMJ non-surgicals helped a lot. Yeah, so that's really good. And it was after the first session I had with you, which wasn't even a non-surgical, it was just a lymphatic drainage.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know I wasn't even breathing for however many years, maybe 6, 7 years. And then after that first session, I was like able to like breathe properly, because every time I breathe, like probably gets stuck around here, and I wasn't being able to breathe all the way down. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the first time I've been able to breathe for such a long time, and that's what was normal to me. And now I'm breathing and I'm like, wow. And it's just little things like that you take for granted. And yes, so I am so grateful that you've been in my life, Michelle, and I know I'll be in your life forever, whether you like it or not. I'll be like, hey, I'm on surgical once a week. And yeah, you've improved it for the better. And I just want to thank you for your knowledge and your wisdom and your uplifting energy. I can come to you with anything, and you shift my mindset, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I'm just thinking clearly and more accepting of life. So, like, honestly, my appointments with Michelle, they're not just like a physical, she helps me physically, but she heals me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And she's just one of the most genuine, like, kind, caring people that I've ever met in my life. And I genuinely can feel that she has everyone's best interests at heart. My mum's gone to her now, I've got friends that have gone to her, my partner's gone to her, and yeah, I couldn't recommend you more highly, so thank you so much for changing my life. And thank you everyone for listening to me. I love talking about
All right, can I just, about sharing, thank you, congratulations. What lymphatic drainage does, it removes the trapped trauma. Let me say it again. Lymphatic drainage removes the trapped trauma. Now, where's the trapped trauma? In the spaces between the cells stuck in junk. And every cell has a brain. You have 50 trillion cells, and they're multiplying every microsecond. As quick as you blink your eye, you're making new cells. And that trauma, your experiences, affect you in today's life. And you don't even know that's happening. That's why people get such quick results, because once you unblock the blockages, okay, and get your body into a relaxed state, there's 2 energy systems. One is stress, which is what? What's stress?
When you release cortisol.
Yeah, that's technical, but what is stress? What's a
What?
feeling? Give me a feeling. What else?
sadness.
Anger.
Overload, anger,
Pissed off. What else? What else is stress?
Grief.
Grief, yeah.
sad, shame,
Distress.
Yeah, what else?
Anger.
There's so much of it, isn't it? And what do doctors call that?
Depression.
Just stress. They call it stress.
Yeah, mental health. Mental health. Because you are in your head. Right? Instead of in your heart. So it's the lymphology, learning lymphology and how the body works with lymphatics. By removing the junk, your body still remembers it, but guess what? You're not triggered.
Yeah.
The anger goes, the grief goes, the sadness goes. You no longer, like if you told this story, you wouldn't have told it anyway.
Yeah.
She'd be in tears on the floor.
Yeah. In me being emotional right now, even like it's not like sadness or negativity, it's more like from love and like gratitude. So I'm not like, it's a different feeling.
Yeah.
When you are like, when you cry, but it's coming from like a peace and gratitude,
That's it. So what's the second energy system we have? What's the opposite to that?
Love.
Yeah. But there's something missing.
Great.
Unconditional love.
Yes. That's it. Unconditional love for every living thing on this planet. Whether they're your worst enemy, whatever they might be, just love them unconditionally because we don't know their story. But we are so easy to judge because we're scared of being judged, so unfortunately we judge others, but we don't even know we're doing it. So once you get into the peace, the body can switch off what Michelle says, cortisol, and the body can then heal. The body can't do two jobs at once. The body can't run and be at peace. Have you ever tried it? I can run and be at peace. That's right. Thank you for sharing.
Yes. No.
Okay.
That's all. Thank you.
I hear testimonials, I've looked through the book and I've read all sorts of things, but that's really, to hear you today and to share that is just, thank you. And thank you so much for being so vulnerable, because I know it's not easy sharing all the things you share. So, and by sharing, it helps so many more people, whether they're here in the room or whether they're looking down through Facebook or they're going to look at the replay and all that kind of thing. So we do have another testimonial to share, and I'm not going to really tell you any of it. I really want you to hear from Lydia, her story, and what she's got to share. She's going to come up here. Welcome, Lydia, everyone, please.
Well, a little bit more intimidating this way. Yep. Well, I think first of all, like I said, this is not how I planned to do this part, but we'll make it work. I was really thinking which part of this, my story, is a really long one, I'd like to share. And I think that the part that I feel like it's most important is the healing is not linear. This journey is not linear. You're going to have days when it's going to really be hard. And the part that I want to start with is where all this, my story that started, was in September 2024, when I thought that I had such a normal day. I dropped off the kid to childcare, I went to work, and I come back home, and all of a sudden I realized that my left side of the body is much more swollen compared to the right. And I remember looking at my husband and like, oh, okay, is this the blood clot? Like, that's the first thing that goes through your head. This is a life-threatening, I need to figure out what to do. Went to the emergency room, and they're like, well, it doesn't look good. Waited the day there, tests, blood thinners, no answers. It's not a blood clot. Okay, what is it then? Oh, we don't know. So, from that point, I went to the general practitioner, general physician. They did every single possible test you can think of. The poor guy looked at me after so many years of his experience and said, I don't know. I actually do not know. He thought first that I had something on my brain, something in my spine. No, everything fine. I tried different things. I tried acupuncture, and it helped a little bit with the pain, but not really enough to make me feel like I'm okay. And all of a sudden I was Googling and found Michelle. I'm like, well, we can't lose anything. It's worth a try. I went to Michelle, and I think the first part was very comforting to understand that it is not your fault. You got here how you got here, and things happen to you. But you're responsible to figure it out how to go from here. And I think that you might be thinking, why Michelle is so different to every single practitioner that I saw so far. And one thing is, she won't take the work from you. She will give you the tools. She will tell you, go and try this. But in the end of the day, I'm sure you've heard her a lot of times, you did the work. So her idea is like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to try it. I'm going to show you, give you the tools. But you did it. So when 10 to 12 weeks after, I actually started feeling great, you have that feeling of accomplishment. Like we got in the March, like I met her in November, I think, and to March, I feel brilliant. I was on the raw diet, I reduced the gluten, the dietary, inflammatory. I had no fluid content, like religion, exercising, everything. I got a great job, it was like, everything went right. And this is what I want to talk about. Because all of you might get to the point that feels all right. And then the life happens. How from when you go and it's everything right, and you go down again, how do you get yourself up? I'll tell you what happened to me. I got pregnant in July, and we planned the pregnancy, and it was amazing, and we were very excited. And in August, I went to one completely random trip to Kmart with my 3-year-old son. And on the way there, I thought, oh, I picked him up from childcare that day, and I saw him playing with the guitar. And one trip to Kmart changed my life. Here you go. Be careful with Kmart. We stopped on the playground, and on the playground, unfortunately, I tripped over and I broke my ankle. I did such a good job that I broke it on 3 or 4 spots. We went through a lot, like not weight bearing, no weight bearing. Again, confusion. Did I tear the ligaments? Did I not tear the ligaments? What did I broke? What did I not broke? Okay, we finally got an answer. I completely tore the ligaments. And I think the hardest part of it all was because of all of that confusion and because of all things that it caused. We had to go to the termination of the pregnancy because it wasn't safe for me, it wasn't safe for my son either. And that was something that really changed the course of how we go. It's a very difficult thing to live with when you have to make a call. And I don't think it's ever going to be easy talking about it. And we went back to Michelle again, dealing with the grief, dealing with different guilt. I found the worst part, because you felt responsible, but you knew there was nothing you could do differently. We tried talking to the hospital, we tried this, we tried that. And interestingly enough, in March, I went back to my surgeon, private surgeon I found, and turned around and said, no, we have to operate. Now, Michelle, who is all non-surgical and lymphology, and oh, Michelle, I have to go for surgery. No, I don't. Like, okay, I'm sure. You're going to be fine. Michelle, it hurts. No, you'll be fine. Okay. A few appointments later, Michelle, it still hurts. And then she pressed at one point, like, and jumped off. It's like, oh, okay, you do need a surgery. I think that it's very important to have in your corner someone who will understand when the surgery is required. And she might not believe it. yeah, in 2 years you might be okay. But the question is, do you have 2 years? And I don't have a good solution. I don't, some days I just survive. It's true. Some days I just think like, oh, I'm gonna go gluten-free, dairy-free and all that. But sometimes, don't try everything at once. I think that's what I found it worked. If you have to completely take off gluten, reduce gluten. If that's what bothers you. Don't go all at once and then, oh, it's too much, I can't do anything. And sometimes, even doing just one small thing today, you feel a little bit better. At least I did the dry brushing. Well, at least I jumped on the rebound. I did something. So I think that for me, what I wanted to share with you was try to be gentle to yourself. It's something that I'm trying to learn myself as well. Not every day is going to be easy. Not every day is going to be, roses, as you say. But just try your best. And sometimes, if all you can do is get out of the bed and that's the most you did, it's okay. Try tomorrow again. Thank you, guys.
Amazing resilience, Lydia, amazing resilience. And I must say, hearing you talk and the passion and the fact that you're open to trying and to doing all kinds of things, it means that there's always going to be success. Like you said, if you're just getting out of bed one day, the next day you might do double or whatever. And, a level of acceptance and accepting that right now there may be a struggle and there will not be in the tomorrow. So, it was amazing testament to the strength and resilience in you have. Thank you. What was really interesting, I got a reminder, is this working?
Is that working? Yes.
We can still hear you.
I got reminders about.
You want to turn it off?
So
You want to turn it up?
Okay, is that better?
We can still hear you. I can hear you.
It's okay, okay. So one of the things I got reminded with listening to Lydia talk is, I shared with you, I spent 2.5 years living in Bali. And it was two of the most amazing years of my life. And I'm actually heading back next Sunday to spend another month. When I was there in, I think February, I have a property in Bali, and I had someone recommend to me to come. I had all these issues over the 6 months my property was rented out, and I came back here, like so many issues. And so, this might be a little bit out there for some people, but in Bali there's very much an understanding of how energy works. And they have a lot of energy healers. And if you've seen, Eat, Pray, Love and Lydia Roberts' story when she went to Bali, etc., let me tell you, there's a lot of really shocked people in Bali too, trying to capitalise on that healing energy, and you have to be very discerning. But living there, I've met a lot of different people who have got a lot of different stories. So this energy clearer was recommended to come to my place to clear that energy, and which he did. And there was an absolute shift. It was quite remarkable. Someone came before and after to my place, and without telling them what had happened, they noticed a different feeling. But what he told me when he was there is that he's also a bone setter. He has no training whatsoever. He barely speaks English. I speak a little bit of Indonesian, so we can communicate a little bit that way. And although it's something that's been passed down from healers, so it's a generational thing in Bali, and not every child inherits from these healers, these ancient healers, etc., but some do. And his has come down generationally, going back a long, long time. And he's a bone setter. So he'd also get clear energy, he takes the spirits out of him, and I said to him, how many broken bones? I'm not going to say I wish I did just to see if it worked. However, if I know someone in Bali that needs something, I will send him. Because, when I had this accident, I went to Chile when I was in Spain. I shared that with Spain when it happened. So, and I don't speak very good Spanish, but I was in 2 different hospitals. The first one said they couldn't treat me, it was that severe injury. Went to the second one and they said, oh, it's not that bad, you know, they'll go to injections for pain, which was absolutely needed at the time. But they said there was nothing really, you know, if you're still in pain in 3 weeks, go back and see your doctor in your homeland, blah, 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 which I did. So they all misdiagnosed. So, you know, sometimes we go along and, you know, I can sometimes sound a little bit like I'm anti that kind of establishment. What I am is very much keep going and keep exploring and keep looking for answers. Because sometimes they get it wrong. Even through, you know, I had 3 lots of x-rays the night of the accident. None of them established what the problem was. So, you know, keep looking for answers. So, Michelle, I think now would be a really good time just to have a quick 10, 15, 20 minute break, something like that. The bathrooms, the ladies, is just on the way that you came in. Gentlemen is down in that corner if you want to have a quick bathroom break. Grab a cuppa, grab a glass of water. If you want to have a chat to Michelle or any people that have spoken today, absolutely do that. And then I will get you, or it's 2:34. I'll say 20 minutes if we all come back, because I know if I say 30 minutes, you'll take okay, I'm getting on that one, I don't know how it works. So yeah, 15, 20 minutes, grab a cuppa, have a chat, all that sort of thing. And then we're going to get into a little bit more information, really truly understanding a lot more about lymphology, a lot more about Michelle's training that she does, and if you want to, now would be a great time, if you haven't got your copy of the book that was here before, if you haven't got your copy of the book, grab it now, so that, yeah, you've got your copy.